Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Welcome back, you guys. I'm so sorry for that. Windows decided to update and all that junk, okay? But, you know, plus side, it gave me a chance to adjust a couple settings. I forgot that I had changed the output resolution to match 1920 by 1080, but the CBR for that like makes the video blurry, so ironically it should be okay now. I changed the scaling method, so hopefully that hasn't done anything unexpected. But from what I've seen, judging from you know, the past, here, let me let me go, there we go. Yeah, I think every time I use Zoom I need to make sure to reset the device volume, the microphone volume, because what happens is it starts distorting. So now it's back down, should be better. In fact, I might even make it lower. I think, and then boost the audio on, boost the gain on OBS. That's usually what you want to do. Let me bring it down to 30. It should, if I bring it all the way down. Okay, so bring it up until it just hits the yellow. There. 34, I think. 30, 27, 27, 27, 28, 28, 26, 26, 26, 25, 25, 25, 24, 24, 23, 23. Okay, so 24. 24 is the magic number. It should be good now. I think 24 for streaming. I think it's like 84 for Zoom. Okay, so 24 and then add 60. Add 60 for Zoom, okay? Well, we are back, you guys. I hope the video quality's better. I hope the sound quality's better. But more than anything, I'm just glad to be back. It took like a very long time. It's already 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m., you guys. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. You know what time that, you know what that means. No, we don't, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we already streamed for like 40 minutes or whatever. This morning started the stream. This morning I started the stream, and it was kind of frustrating. Okay, so okay. It was kind of frustrating because I had, well, not frustrating. It's a good thing for me personally, because I had a phone call. It was an important phone call. But I had literally just started the stream, so it kind of messed things up a bit with streaming. But who cares? I don't have 10,000 viewers, you know. And if I did, fuck you guys. You guys can go suck a dick, okay? I mean, I don't know. I like that kind of thing, but it's okay. If you don't like it, you know, first of all, don't do anything against your consent, you guys. I'm too nice to be a streamer. No, that's not true, because there's some streamers who built a platform like Pokimane who are a bit more nice, okay? So, okay, and also, you know, it's like the thing is, it's like we're here to have some fun, and, well, mostly me. You know, don't worry, I'm gonna see a dentist soon. But, I've been using my water flosser every day, and my gums aren't bleeding anymore, which is a good sign, because once you get to that point in your flossing career, once you get to that point in your flossing career, you don't really have to worry so much. You know, it's like it becomes kind of automatic, like, and also it doesn't hurt as much, because the main thing about flossing is that it hurts if you haven't done it in a while. But if you use the floss, you know, because I have a water flosser, it's like, and it like really hurts. But it's good for your gums, which is good for your teeth. I mean, you gotta brush your teeth, but mostly you're taking care of your gums. And so that's a thing. Mostly, I think I'm just trying to get into the habit of actually having like a day, instead of just sitting here on my computer all day, just kind of mindlessly scrolling or whatever. I think starting my stream really starts me on the path of trying to really, I mean, because I know that if I don't stream for a long time, I end up getting really depressed. And other content creators have talked about this, people more famous than me, people more popular than me. Okay, so like people like Mizkif has talked about this, that like, obviously depression, mental health and all that stuff, that's separate from your career, but it kind of isn't. Because like if you don't have your mental health together, everything else just kind of falls apart. So even if you're, somewhat, managing, obviously, if you have to show up, you have to show up. So at least showing up is better than nothing. But if your goal is to have the best product possible, you kind of have to take care of the whole package. You got to take care of yourself. And at least I have that part down. A lot of people focus so much on the career part and they don't really focus on the self part. And at least I started out with the self part, my whole life really, but mostly the past couple of years, out of necessity. Because, there's a lot of gatekeeping, and it's kind of a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing. Obviously, you don't want people just showing up off the streets, asking for a estrogen or for a testosterone shot. Honestly, though, there's less gatekeeping for cisgender people than there are trans people, but that's a whole other ballgame. Okay, because, it's like if you're a man, if you're cisgender, if you're a man, and you just want a testosterone shot because, like, you're like, oh, I think my T levels are too low or whatever. There's, like, barely any gatekeeping for that. But if you're assigned female at birth and you want, like, testosterone so that you can, feel like, life is worth living, or if you want to, the other way around, if you want estrogen like me, there's just so much less gatekeeping. Like, cisgender women, people assigned female at birth who are cisgender, for any health reason, can get a prescribed estrogen, like especially postmenopausal women. So, or AFAB people, but I mean usually people who are AFAB, but I don't know. It's a lot of nuance. And people think being transgender is like one thing, but it really isn't, because some people are, hyper focused on the medical part like me, because that's just necessary for me. But some people are like not so hung up on that, because they're just like, oh, they don't know if they want surgery. They don't know if they even want hormones, and they just want to live socially as their gender, and that should be accepted. And also people should stop putting people into like narrow categories. There's more than one way to be a woman in general, or a man. And there's also like, there's no one way of being transgender. There's not like, there's a stereotype of like, the Yas Queen, like this music kind of indicates. But first of all, that's more of a guy thing, honestly. I feel like gay guys do that. Like, that's a gay guy thing. And, it's not really, women do that too. But, I've never really been like that. I've never been a Yas Queen, okay? Like, I've always just been myself. And I feel like everybody should be allowed to be themselves, no matter what gender they're assigned or they live as. I'm slowly starting to find, clothing in my style. Like clothing like this, kind of in my style. It's like, it's not too much. It's not like extravagant. It's just kind of nice. I really like just nice clothes. I also like, sexy dresses. And in fact, this isn't a skirt or a dress or anything. It's not even a top. It's like one of those things you put on your, like you put it over your head and put it on your neck, like when it's like cold. I can fit into this, by the way. I can fit into this. I'm that skinny, okay? I mean, I know that's like kind of like rub it in, Rebecca. Jeez. No matter what shape your body is, I may be skinnier, but I have other self-image issues. Being transgender, okay? Like that gender dysphoria is like extreme. And it's more than gender, body dysmorphia, which I think I might have some, but I want to be able to deal with the gender part first. And then if there's still some like lingering body dysmorphia, well, that's something I can deal with, continue to deal with in therapy. Because I don't think, at some point the surgeries need to stop. And that will be after facial surgery and vaginoplasty. And I do not want any more surgeries. Anything more than that is just like, I should deal with, the inside first. I feel like, at that point, because at that point, it's no longer about gender. It's about, self-image, which is, in today's world on the internet, it's so easy to get caught up in self-image, but you have to remember, I know it sucks because, like, a lot of the time, you know, your image and how you present yourself is actually very important for your brand, you know, and stuff like that, especially if you're like a very visual kind of person, like if you model or anything like that. But at the same time, I feel like it's important, at least in your own mind, to separate that part of it from your own personal image of yourself, because like you can just see that as like a game, like it's a video game. I know it's so easy to say that, but you know, I feel like you know, if we can see that as more like a video game and say like, okay, well, when I'm doing my modeling stuff, I need to like, oh, okay, let's do what works and what, and you know, what feels good as well, you know, obviously. But at the same time, you know, I feel like that should be treated like a game and less like, you know, a definition of who you are as a person. And I know it's so easy to say that because so many people will say that about body image and about, you know, image in general. So yeah, like, you know, there's things about my face that I like, and there's things that I don't like about my face, and I'm dealing with those things that I don't like. But after that, I think any more is overkill. I had to send a message to my doctor saying, please don't do anything to my lips. I think the scribe put it in there because so many women want that. But I really don't have any issue with my lips. I do have an issue a bit with how I talk. I think I kind of like sloppy a little bit, and I think this is like more than just. I mean, this is an issue that a lot of people face, and some people care about it, some people don't. I don't want to look like sloppy, and I think it's also more about enunciation and like I don't know. It's just like there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into all this, and I feel like it's a game. You know, like all this stuff like about our career and about like, you know, what we do and how we present ourselves to the world. I feel like the most healthy way of doing it is to do what makes you happy, but also as far as like appealing to an audience, I feel like that part should be treated as a game. In order to have the like, you know, best mental health outcomes. Because if you keep it separate from mental health and from self-image, because I don't, you know, if I put on makeup, if I do my hair, you know, it's, you know, if I do it off camera and stuff, that's for me. Which most of the time I just don't do anything. I just like sit in my pajamas. And yeah, sometimes I even like record film, like record videos for YouTube or even like, you know, or stream. And I just don't really do much because I'm like, well, it's better that I show up instead of like stressing out about how I look. Because I feel like it, you know, it might prevent me from growing, you know, if I make YouTube videos in like my pajamas instead of just doing the bare minimum of just getting dressed and putting a light amount of foundation on or something. Even, you know, even that much, you know, it feels like a lot sometimes. And, you know, it's something I'm gradually working on because I know that, like, first of all, you don't need to wear makeup to be beautiful. And I understand that. But there is a difference between, you know, personal and, you know, the game part. You know, it's a game, and sometimes, you know, there's a lot of competition out there in the modeling world, and you know, a lot of different kind of stuff around that. Yeah, I can't stick my tongue out as much as Crazy Slick's girlfriend. I don't. How you doing, Zabak? Welcome to the stream, my friend. My name is Rebecca Lauren. Today we're talking about random shit because I don't want to stay in bed all day. No, seriously, like there's this magical thing that happens whenever you turn the camera on. You know, it's funny because you'll hear famous people talk about it and you don't really think it's true. And then like you kind of, it doesn't matter about whether you're famous or not. It's just like there's something psychological about having a camera on you and having the lights on you, which some people enjoy. Like I enjoy it. I really like having it because it makes you feel like somebody's watching. And also people in the chat helps too. Can you try closer? I think we're getting into the realm of sexual here. We're not doing that kind of stream today. Okay, so yeah, we're just hanging out. You know, I have like zero discoverability at the moment. I'm trying so hard, like I'm trying to grow my TikTok. I'm trying to build my top funnels. Hot so fast. By the way, just to ask you, a little pop quiz or a little survey. How's the audio? Is it too loud? Is it clipping? Is the background music too loud or too quiet? I generally I'm so much of a perfectionist when it comes to my audio. I'm like constantly adjusting it. Like, it's just so frustrating because I'm like, if I have to slide down, like, okay, I think I got a good balance for my microphone. I just adjusted it lower and lower on the input gain on this window settings until it hit the yellow, because what was happening is I have noise reduction, and what happens is it'll balance it down to the level you put it at on OBS, but if the input gain is higher, it'll bring it down, and that causes distortion, like clipping kind of thing. Very bad sound quality, and I've been noticing that in the past bunch of streams. Hopefully everything's working out great. Hopefully I can check the video out I guess I can check it out myself. Let me pause the music just a second. I'm gonna go investigating. Just go to my Twitch and just look at it. Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Just go to my Twitch and just look at it. Yeah, there seems to be some issues still. Let me adjust the filters. Oh, I have a compressor on. That's what it is. Oh, and I have the limiter. Why am I not using the... I already have the RN noise. That's what was going on. Let me adjust the filters. Oh, I have a compressor on. That's what it is. Oh, and I have the limiter. Why am I not using the... I already have the RN noise. Testing, 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 testing. Oh, just a second. Oh, I have a compressor on. That's what it is. Oh, and I have the... Testing, 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 testing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Nice t-shirt. Well, thank you, Juju. First time chat from viewer. Whoa, there's a Twitch update. When did that happen? When did that happen? Okay, let's turn off the limiter now. Let's see if this is better. Testing, testing, testing. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Okay, I think I need to make a slight adjustment to the input volume. Go down to 18. Okay, testing, testing, testing. Oh yeah, I got a new t-shirt, actually. This is a new t-shirt. I really like it. It's I'm just slowly adding a few articles of clothing every chance I get. Not going overboard. I also have a dress. Okay, so I also got a dress, a really nice summer spring and summer dress. That it's just it looks really nice, and I was wearing it and I almost fit into it. But I tested it out, tested the range of motion and all that, and it ripped. It was only $7. But it's not really about that, but it gives me a bit of a project. Put down at middle down. Pull down at middle. No, we're not doing that, Juju. Calm down. We're not doing that kind of stream today. Okay, but seriously though, I do feel like it's important for me to just gradually, give myself little projects. So it's I want to be able to learn how to actually alter clothes. So I want to be able to go to the thrift store, buy a dress that looks like it fits, or any kind of piece of clothing. See if it fits, and if it's too big or too small, I want to be able to alter it so that it'll fit. I think it's easier. Apparently, I don't remember. Is it easier to let something out or to or to shrink something down. I think it's easier to shrink something down because you just cut off the fabric and then you just whatever. This one's a bit too small, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to let it out, and it's a very specific pattern, so it's gonna be really kind of a challenge. But I think I might, you know, it's a fun thing to try to do. You know, I can try to I can try to get better. Yeah, just a second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this shirt doesn't really do that. I've been trying to find something that'll show more cleavage, but it's hard to find something because I have small breasts. But it's just like, you know, it's whatever it is, you know. I'd have to. Okay, there is a way I can do it, but I don't always do it because it's uncomfortable. But we're not talking about that right now, okay? Like, I'm not worried about that, okay? I get enough coomers. Ah! I actually don't. I need more coomers. Okay. You know, I don't really set out to do coomer streams on Twitch and stuff. I kind of keep my content separate. You know, I keep this more to like kind of more casual and educational and entertainment, or gaming, which is, I guess that's entertainment. I don't know. I don't really find, you know, sometimes I generally, when I watch streams, I generally don't really watch it for the gameplay. Sometimes I do, by the way. Sometimes I'll put a stream and I just want something running in the background. Like I just want something running in the background. And it's really it's one of those things where sometimes I just want to have something running, so it's like I'm like really just, I don't want to just lie down and listen to music. I don't want to just lie down in silence. I kind of just want to watch something. Then I'll watch somebody who does heavy gameplay. But most of the time when I tune into a stream, it's because I want to hear what the person has to say. And I know that, like, I don't know, there's a lot of different kind of viewers out there. And those are the kind of viewers I cater to, I guess. And I do also kind of other kind of content. And, you know, honestly, I'm not super hyper focused on it. I also try not to be, I try not to be too suggestive on my main streams. And, you know, everything else, you know, that belongs, you know, it's like what happens in Vegas, you know, stays in Vegas. I think the biggest thing about my streams and stuff is kind of what we're doing today, is I kind of want to try to figure out, like, you know, what the path moving forward is. Because I've been stuck for a while. And I guess just showing up to the stream, that's a start. You know, if I do that, like, you know, a few days a week, instead of just giving up entirely, which is pretty much what it's felt like the past couple of months. And I know that's not true. I know I've been doing streams. You know, so it's like not even about that. Because I know it's like, I'm not really streaming for growth, obviously, because that doesn't work really much. Although, every single viewer that I have that's been a high quality viewer that comes back has been through streaming. So that being said, it's a good way to meet very high quality viewers, no matter what. Like anything, like, you know, XQC talks about it. Organic viewers, are always going to be the highest quality. Anybody who finds your stream organically, like if they find it like through like some kind of advertisement or something, like I feel like, you know, or a raid or whatever, I feel like those aren't really high quality viewers because, you know, most people are kind of just going to tune out. But if somebody comes to your stream because they saw you streaming and they stayed, like that, you know that they're going to enjoy the stream. Like, you know, so it's like those are the kind of the people that I gear my content towards, are the people who want to stay. You know, the people who find me and want to stay. And, you know, that's regardless of what platform they find me on, you know. Anything that artificially boosts your viewers is always going to kind of be like, it might be good in the sense that it kind of pushes you up. I mean, obviously, just I think it's important to really separate the idea of streaming as discovery. It's really not. I know from experience, like I've been streaming for almost 3 years now, and it's just so many people out there, they hit start streaming and it's like that, you know, like they don't grow at all. And, you know, this is true across the board. So if you notice, you know, obviously at the very, very, very top, they have a better chance at growing. But honestly, I feel like if you're just streaming, you're only streaming to your existing audience. So unless you're trying to, unless you're spreading your wings and flying, like out on YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff, Instagram, like you're not gonna find new audience. So I feel like it's really important that like I think like no matter where you're at, streaming is always going to be like the least discoverable. So I think it's important for me to understand psychologically why I hit start streaming, and most of the time it's for myself. Some of the time, at this stage, I do like keeping it's for myself, but also in addition to that, first and foremost, everything's going to be for me. And at some point, I might have some kind of career going, and then thinking about me means kind of catering to an audience. But at the moment, I don't have enough of an audience to really justify that. So I'm sorry, but screw you guys. Yeah, I don't really know what we're doing today. I guess we're just kind of doing this. Just kind of hanging out and just looking pretty, I guess. Jojo. I'm just gonna call you Joe. Jojo. Joe. At Middleton. Come on, bruh. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that go into everything. I think it's really important. Just do a stream like this, okay? Yeah, figuring out, bruh. I'm not a bro. I'm just saying bruh, okay? Not to say that somebody who looks like me can't be a bro, okay? Look at Finster. Finster's a guy, okay? Femboys exist. I'm not a femboy, okay? I'm a woman, okay? So you better deal with it. And not just because I look like a the stereotype of what a girl's supposed to look like. Okay? Jeez. But honestly, that being said, do I look like a guy to you? Jeez. That's a reference, by the way, to the first stage of my stream. Well, no, the second stage of my stream. Living as Rebecca. The first stage of my stream, we don't talk about. we don't talk about the first stage of my stream. That was it. First of all, I didn't even really use a camera back then. I didn't even really use a microphone back then. It was mostly just a screen capture of me playing chess and studying chess. It was really fucking boring. And honestly, I'm not saying that I'm not boring now. I feel like I'm a bit more relaxed. I feel like I'm a bit more entertaining. I would like to think. Jeez. Yeah, so, today, what are we doing today? I'm mostly just hanging out, seeing what I think about, seeing what comes to mind, and also waiting, and we're gonna stream for a few hours, I guess, and, then I gotta go, pick up prescription and all that. But mostly, I see, this is the biggest thing. It's like most of the time when I hit start streaming, I don't really have a plan. And so I want to come up with a plan. And so kind of what I want to do today is I had it open before, but I had to do Windows Update because everything was all slowed down. Everything was laggy. It was like super laggy. Everything was super laggy. It's frustrating as heck, okay? So I'm opening up LibreOffice. I'll be right back. Gotta use the bathroom. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Let's open it up. Let's open it up. Recent documents. Now that everything isn't like lagging and crashing. Oh, and thanks to the follow, by the way. I'm sorry I missed that, Joe. Yeah, no. Okay, I don't know what happened here. I really don't know what happened. Did I open the wrong file? What did I do? What have I done? I don't know what I'm doing. What happened to the notes? Okay, well, we're gonna start a new one. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. Notes. Here we go. Oh, I accidentally saved it as the writing template. I need to save it as the new one. Oh, yeah, let's just save it as a new. Stream. Content notes. Okay, and then I need to delete it and actually save the template again. Jeez, it's so frustrating when I accidentally forget to save it as the right document. I save it into the wrong document. But how come it updated all the times? What is even going on? Why is it made all the... I set it so it's a static date. Yeah, it's a fixed date. How come it changed? I think it's because I crashed. I think that's what happened. So anyway, it should be fine now. Expand all. Everything's fine. And then let's save this as the writing template. Or you know what? I can just open up one of the... because I made copies. Okay, so, I believe I did. Did I? Did I make copies? I did not make copies. I don't know why I didn't. Writing template. And then let's save as again. And then make a backup. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, let's see what's going on. If I go in here, go into notes. Let's just go into scrap. YouTube. Okay, we need to figure out what I'm doing for YouTube, okay? That's a big deal. Because I don't know really what to do for YouTube. That's actually the biggest deal. Biggest issue. The biggest issue with my YouTube is that I simply, is that I simply don't know what to actually make. This keeps happening. Okay. I thought I set it as format, spacing, double spacing. And I thought I set my headings. Let's go to headings. Okay, default paragraph style. Modify. What happened? Okay. and then double spacing. It should be. Yeah, I think it's just because the way I did it already. Oh, what happened? How come my? Oh. Headings. There we go. What? What happened? Oh, did I delete all the headings? Oh, because I double clicked on the main text. Okay. So make that into select all, not styles. It's on format spacing should be double spaced. Okay. And now I still have my headings. Okay. Like that. Clean it up. This should be 2. This should be 3. Heading 3. Heading 3. Okay. Now expand all. There we go. YouTube. Okay, the biggest issue with my YouTube is that I simply don't know what to actually make. Solution. Stream with the intention of exploring ideas for videos. Okay, and we're doing just that right now. Okay, so you know, that's something, right? Like that's something. We're doing something. I don't know if it's effective, but we're doing something. Here, I'm gonna tucked in my shirt. I don't really like. I kind of like things loosey goosey, cause we're loosey goosey over here. We like to be loosey goosey, very loosey goosey. Okay, we're loosey goosey. That's such a silly like way to say something. Like, why would you say that? Why would you say loosey goosey? Constantly messing with my setup. I kind of like it when like the microphone is like right underneath. Yeah, but it needs to be spaced in a way. Yeah, it's like right there. There we go. I don't know, there's always something I need to work on. Hi, Kyle. Kyle. How are you, Kyle? Kyle. Welcome to the stream. We're working on figuring out what I can do for my YouTube, because I need to fix my YouTube. I need to solve this problem. I have a problem where I don't know what to make, because I do a lot of streaming, you know, and I'm kind of all over the place. And you know, obviously, figuring out how to solve my YouTube will pretty much automatically solve my streaming problem. Because as long as I am kind of all over the place and kind of like impromptu or ad lib or ad hoc, whatever you want to call it, as long as I'm doing that, it's going to be really hard to make into YouTube videos. Especially when most of the time I'm streaming, I catch a lot of kind of interesting stuff sometimes. But the problem is I'm not recording it. Like, I'm not streaming it with the intention to make it into a YouTube video, which means, like, right now I have music on in the background, right? I wouldn't want that for a YouTube video. I'd like to be able to edit it. A solution for that would be to have a second audio track. So I could do that. The problem with that is then then I don't know how it affects all my, so maybe at least on Twitch, that would mean that the VOD would have no music. But that's not a problem if and only if there's also, let me fix this a bit. If and only if, and I gotta be careful because, here, let me fix some things. Let's turn off the gain. Okay, let's see. Test. Okay, turn it all the way up. Not all the way up. Filters. Test. Let's all the way down. I don't want to hear. Okay. Testing. Okay, so that's, that way if I go all the way max, it's not going to destroy your ears. Okay, so it's like I just go a little bit below there. The problem is I have to make sure every single time, and this is a habit I need to form anyway, is that every single time I start my stream, it's imperative in order to save my viewers' ears. I mean, I have noise suppression, so maybe it already does that. Because I don't know if it goes too loud, it'll just start distorting, but I feel like if I go louder and louder, it could be a problem, like especially if it goes into the red. But right now, as things are, it doesn't seem to be an issue. I want to make sure it's like just at the green and yellow, and I think this should be fine. But I usually keep the volume locked because it's something I constantly worry about. I don't want to be the cause of somebody's eardrums breaking, or like, I don't think that's possible. I think there are hardware limits. I really do. I do think that, but I mean, I don't want to break someone's speakers or anything like that. So I don't know. It's frustrating. It's kind of frustrating. Maybe if I turn the limiter back on, that'll be fine. Okay, test. I don't know. I think the limiter is not very good to have. I think it's just important that I think it's just important that I remember to keep oh God, yeah, this is frustrating because I don't want to destroy people's ears. Anyway, I just keep the volume locked and it ends up being just fine. Testing. Okay, yeah, testing. Okay, so yeah, this one can go too. Okay, there we go. And then lock it. Just remember, it's just important that I always remember to set my input gain on the settings in the Windows settings. Always set the input settings to 18, and then before I start the stream. The problem is, yeah, we need a dynamic range. I guess it's fine. I mean, this should sound fine. Let me, okay, I'm doing some, like, you know, meta stuff. Yeah, just make a video telling people about your life and your experiences. You're an interesting person. I want to know more about you. Yeah, the problem is like I end up getting too freeform. And every time I try to actually sit down and make a complex, make a focused video, I try to write down a script, but every time I do that, it starts to feel really stilted. At least to me. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just being, who am I to judge? Um, let me test the audio. Okay. Um, okay. Let me test the audio really quick. Testing, testing, testing. Ah! Hmm. Testing, testing, testing. Ah! Ah! Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure, like, because I have two different mic settings. One is one is with the noise suppression, so that it, like, it kind of keeps out all like the background humming and stuff. But I have another one for when I want to be loud or for when I want to play a musical instrument. Because otherwise it's just gonna sound like garbage. It's gonna get compressed, which is bad. It sounds bad. There's certain compression settings that are ideal for voice, and there's certain settings that are ideal for music production, like music recording. Like, and also there's ideal settings for individual instruments. Eventually, I'm gonna really narrow it down, or maybe hire someone to do it for me, to have an individual mic setting for each instrument that I have, and one for my voice. Like, well, two for my voice, one for when I want to be loud, and one for when I want to be just talking, um, or and then one for singing, one for clarinet, one for flute, one for each individual saxophone, which should probably all be the same actually. But like, one for each, one for tenor, one for alto, one for soprano. But either way, like on stream, that's for like stream setup. Eventually, I really want to get. I don't really have the space for it here. I kind of do, but I really don't. Um, Eventually, I do want to set up an actual like kind of studio setup. Where I can record music, or at least stream music, because I really have to get back in shape on my instruments. Because what happened was I kind of fell out of practicing for like 3 years. I have been like randomly playing my flute and saxophone and clarinets. Saxophones and clarinet. I am barely playing my clarinet, like barely, barely. Like, I don't think I've played my clarinet in like, I think a year. But I've been playing my flute mostly. If I do play an instrument lately, like at least especially like the past 3 years, the flute has been my go-to instrument. Or the past like 2.5 years. You are so smart. You know so much about audio. You're so kind to me. I'm really not that smart. There's people who are like professionals and stuff. You changed your name. Oop hoo. Oop hoo. Oh my god, you're here solely to entertain me, Oopoo. It sounds like poo. You guess who? Are you Spaceberry? I'm guessing by the color. But you took off your profile picture, so maybe not. Blip. Robot stream.
I am a robot. Beep, 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 beep.
You guys, one thing. Whoa, this is too bad. One thing you will not. Okay, I need to put the limiter back on. I think that's important. Okay, here we go. I think one thing. Or maybe it was the compressor that was helpful. Testing, testing, testing. I don't know. I think the compressor kind of leveled everything out a bit. I think the biggest issue was the input volume. No, 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 no. It can be so frustrating. Oh, Genshin. Oh, you're Isaiah, IJK. Yeah, oop hoo. That's a. Well, that's not really a hint. That's like giving me the answer. Let me just test out the audio a little bit more. Okay, like I need to know. Like I personally, it's just it's almost an obsession. I just need to know how it sounds because I don't want to wait until after. Because it's like every time I think it's better to do it while I'm live because then it's like I can see it in real time. A lot of the times I'll like be streaming and then I noticed that like at the end like everything is clipping and it's because I forgot because when I use Zoom I have to raise the input because I don't have all the OBS settings and obviously if I had all the OBS settings it would be fine. If I had a mixer, but I don't want to spend $2,000 on a mixer just to use Zoom. Okay, I'm not at that point in my production career. Okay, I don't need a $2,000 mixer. That would be very irresponsible. In fact, if I wanted to spend $2,000, I would spend if I actually had $2,000 to spend on my setup, I would just upgrade my PC, get one with like you know the brand new you know like Nvidia and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I would do with $2,000 if I just had $2,000 to spend. But right now I'm focusing on trying to get down payment for like a house, you know, like a room share at least. I don't know. I talked to my community health worker a bit, a new one, and we talked about that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we talked about that, and I'm testing the audio right now. So I'm just saying things so that I can hear it. Yeah, it's really a tough call. It's a tough call because if I I don't know. I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, testing, 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 testing. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. Talking normally like this. Let's hear how it sounds when I'm talking like kind of softer. And then obviously knowing where to place my mic. Okay. 293 YouTube videos. Most of that is because I'm restreaming, and so a lot of those are just streams. Oh, also some of those are unpublished. Oh no 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 no. There was a see. I need to go back and like unpublish a lot of or like you know unpublish a lot of those because a lot of those are just backups of my old Twitch stream, which I don't want to be published. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. Here's me talking. Okay, let's get where I'm talking normally. That's where I should. That's where I should really have it like just into the green and the yellow. Okay. I don't know. I think if I just have it if I just have it here, it should be good. I don't know. I generally kind of talk like not too quietly, but I also kind of talk loudly sometimes. So I need to make sure that it's not going to be going too loudly. Anyway, let's stop. You know, I don't know. It doesn't really matter what we do today. I just wanted to make sure that I showed up. That was the main thing. I wanted to make sure that I just didn't just do what I normally do, which is refuse to even show up. And, you know, no matter what I'm doing for content, I at least want to stay consistent. I want to be able to show up and talk and try to make content, even though I'm not really trying right now. I'm not really trying to make content right now. Um, it is helpful having someone to talk to. But mostly that's not really a reasonable thing to expect right now with the way things are in my stream. It's just not. I have way too many things I need to do. And so like making YouTube videos is one of those. I think one of the other things, here's another problem. Problem. I often end up, what is going on? What ends up happening is there's like this thing on the bottom. How come it's not really going true full screen? Like when I actually go full screen, it doesn't do true full screen. It's actually kind of frustrating. I guess just every time I go here, just close it entirely. Yeah, I often end up, well, this is an example. This is an example. This is, I often end up being so caught up on being perfect that I end up not actually doing any work. Solution. Stop caring. That's one. Show up and let things happen. Streaming is particularly useful for practicing this skill. Okay, yeah. Breaking things down into skills. I think that's actually really important. Because what ends up happening is if I just kind of go free for all, if I just kind of ad hoc, if I just kind of ad lib, ad hoc is also similar, but it's a little bit different. Ad hoc means like you have a plan of like predetermined things, but you pull them as needed. Like you have a like a giant like reservoir of things that are like a narrow group of things, and how narrow it is depends. Like it could be narrow, like super narrow, or it could be really wide, but it's still gonna be like you pull as needed. Ad lib means you're like it's kind of like improvised. Like you kind of just like free for all. Like I think those are like the difference between those two terms. I don't know. I don't know. How's it look from the back? I'm a bit cray cray, okay, by the way, like, but you know, in a world where everybody's cray cray. In a world where everybody's cray cray. In a world where everybody's cray cray, Rebecca Lauren shows up to shed some light on how to be cray cray. Yeah, so positioning of the mic is important too. It's like don't want to put it like right here. I mean, it sounds better, you know. Like this is like the ideal like to for sound, but you know, I don't always want to be just recording audio. If I'm recording audio, this is probably the best way to do it. ASMR stream. Welcome everybody. But you need to see my pretty face, okay? So I need to have a position where it's aiming at my mouth, but close enough that it picks it all up, but not far enough, but not so close. Not so close that it's gonna cause problems. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Rebecca, look at you. You're like a person. I just realized that. You know, sometimes you like you see yourself and you like hear yourself and you realize you like don't even recognize yourself, like in a good way. Like you realize you're just a person instead of like thinking you're like a terrible person. You know what I mean? Thinking that you suck, or thinking that you're like just the worst person ever. I don't know. It's really a tough call sometimes. I also sometimes don't really always enjoy hearing my voice. It is a dysphoria thing. However, I feel like a lot of women talk similar to me. I found there is a bit of a difference. Like if you really go in and listen, there's a difference. But that's to be understood because I talked with a more male resonance my entire life. And it takes a while. I did study up on vocal feminization. And I practiced it. I practice it every time I talk, really. It's become more natural. I found my natural voice. Because I could talk like this, like kind of up here, like, hi everybody, hi, I'm Rebecca. But I mean, that's not really how I talk. Like, I kind of talk more down here. And a lot of women do. I've met a lot of women who actually talk lower than me. And so I think what it happens is sometimes like if I'm not really thinking too much about it, I might slip a little bit and become more resonant in the male. Because I literally went through male puberty, and it means that it elongated my vocal folds. And so that means that I do have, I mean, I can't really go low, and I'm just going to do this just, not one. I'm pretty much going to do this only once. I don't really have as much dysphoria. The more I live as my authentic self, the less dysphoria I have, and the easier it is to go boy mode. It's really ironic. Like, it doesn't make much sense. Like, if you think about it, like you'd say, like, when you're, it does make sense if you think about it, but like at first glance, it doesn't make sense because most people are used to like gender dysphoria. And I feel like there's a point where you stop having that dysphoria as much. And the reason why is because I've been dealing with it. And also I've been, because, when you solve the dysphoria, you become less dysphoric. I mean, I know it's a crazy concept. But what I mean specifically though, is that it's easier for me to act like a man because I know I'm a woman. Like, if that makes any, like, I'm more comfortable in my womanhood that I can go boy mode. So I'm going to do this, like, I'm pretty much going to avoid doing this, but, but I'm going to, I'm going to show you. Okay. So that's about as low as I can go. And you know what? I could never really go much lower to begin with. So I'm kind of lucky as far as like, presenting as female goes. Like, I mean, not to say, first of all, I just want to say right now, it doesn't matter how you sound or how you look or how you present yourself. You are who you say you are. And obviously that doesn't mean that people are just going to let you like break the law and shit. Like, if you like, the fear, I'm going to go a little teeny tiny bit political here. Other people like Hassan have talked about this, but I know from firsthand experience being a trans person, people like to weaponize the fact that, if somebody says they're a woman, then they're going to go into the bathroom and rape people. Like, okay, well, yeah, you're still a woman, but you committed a crime, buddy. Okay? Ma'am. So if you commit a crime, you're going to jail. Okay? So that's what you say to these people. Like, if somebody says, oh, well, if people walk around pretending to be a woman, it's like, well, no, they're not pretending, but they are committing a crime. And, oh, God, I need to put that limiter on. Jeez. Okay, that's better. Yeah, because it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. I think it's important to put the limiter on both of them. Okay. Jeez, more like random fine tuning of the microphones. Make sure to lock it. Okay. I am so cray-cray. I'm so cray-cray. But in a world where everybody's cray-cray, I'm probably the least cray-cray. You gotta be cray-cray in a cray-cray world. It is a crazy world, though, isn't it? Like, there's people out there who convince themselves that reality is something, and it's been kind of a group convincing. But if you look at, like, the most successful people, a lot of them break through that. I don't want to say all of them have. And honestly, I don't know them personally, so whatever they're going through personally, that's whatever. But they'll often talk, successful people will often talk about their, some things. And one of the things they talk about is that, I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. One of the things I've noticed is that so many people out there, especially people who aren't like famous, like, or a lot of people who are just on social media, they try to prevent, and I don't really understand why, because they're not really trying to grow a business. They're just like out there, like trying to get likes from their friends and family. I'm like, why? Why don't you try to like actually grow an audience? But that's just me, because that's what I would do. That's what I am trying to do. Like, I'm literally trying to grow a career. Like, I'm not trying to just get likes, like hearts and likes from friends and family. I don't give a shit what they think. Honestly, in fact, like most of the, a lot of people in my life don't seem to really care about what I have to say on the internet. So that's probably for the best, because, I know them in real life. And when I get to see them in real life, that's really what matters. And I feel like it's important to keep like real life separate from, like gamify the career. It's a game. It's fun. It's supposed to be, well, it's not always fun, but it's a game. It's a craft. Okay. Like, it's separate from your real life. But I think there might be a case, and there might be a point where it stops becoming a game, and it starts to like bleed into your real life, especially if most of the people like, I've noticed just like watching like a lot of the top streamers, like you'll notice like OTK, like one of the biggest things, and I feel like this is what makes them so special in the first place, is that, I mean, obviously I don't know what they do off stream. That's for them to know. But from what I can tell, you end up working with people so much that, is there really a difference between work and like work friends and real friends? Like, honestly, like, I feel like if your life is about work, then that's what matters. And that's the way I see work. Like, if you show up to work and you enjoy work and you enjoy working with people, then I feel like those are your real friends. Like, obviously they're not your close friends. They're not like your personal, like, family, but they could be. I don't know. Like who's to say? I feel like it matters to the individual. And honestly, I can't speak for anyone. That would be too parasocial. But from what I can observe, I've noticed like a lot of the OTK streamers, obviously it could all be like, it could all be fake. Who knows? I mean, they're very good at what they do, but I doubt it. I'm gonna assume that they're genuine. Obviously everything's kind of like grandiose. It's more like pronounced and like more for entertainment. But at the same time, I do feel like, if you just think about it logically, like if your whole life revolves around making content with people, and those are the people you spend all day with, making content, and you also spend time with them off stream to talk about the content or to do other things, then what's the difference between a coworker and a friend at that point? Like, I don't think there is. And even then, I feel like, certain people like have like a personality type, and I feel like I have that personality type where I enjoy life. I enjoy doing the work. To me, that is the pleasure. Everything else feels like a waste of time. Like, I don't want to just sit here watching YouTube all day. I end up doing that sometimes just because obviously you need to do things to, like, self-care, like watch TV and stuff. But I feel like that's really kind of more of that's more of a kind of like just a part to decompress and to rest, and then so that you can get back to the work. That's the way I see work. No matter what it is, if I'm working at Taco Bell, or if I'm, making content, hopefully one day I start making content with other people. I would really like to have that kind of life where I can work with people, and whatever happens off stream, obviously, whatever you do for content, don't expect people to also feel the same way. But because there is a difference. There is a difference. And I think, treating people like they're your friends when they don't see you that way, they are your coworkers. But to me, that coworker relationship is the relationship that I want. I don't really care so much about, a private relationship so much. I have a few people in my life that I really care about, that I have a private relationship with. But honestly, I really like, for the most part, like most people, I would rather work with than be friends with. Because to me, that's the same, like, that's what I enjoy, is working with people. But that being said, you always have to remember that other people don't feel that way. And that doesn't mean, and so just because you enjoy working with people doesn't mean they want to be your friend. And I feel like that's really important. Like, if you go to work, you're at Taco Bell, you can talk to people and you can enjoy it. Like, you can enjoy the conversation you're having. I just enjoy working with people. I hate showing up, and it's not even about hate. I just can't show up to work all the time, which is why I started streaming, was because it's a safe, I hate saying the word safe space, because people hear the word safe space and they think all sorts of different things. But literally, it's a safe, it's a risk-free, there we go. It's a risk-free way, or relatively risk-free. It's a relatively risk-free way to build that skill of showing up on a consistent basis and doing something, which is, for me, it's vital. I need to be able to do that, because I don't want to just live on SSI for the rest of my life. And I don't think I can. At some point, I it's like the world expects so much from you. And so it's like, if you can't make a minimum amount of money, you're just not going to be able to make it in this life. And in fact, you'll end up being homeless. It's really hard. I'm trying, right now, my next step is trying to get housing, or some kind of housing situation. And the thing is if I get a situation where I have to pay rent, they will raise my SSI. So I'm making 500. I think they'll raise it to 900 if I have to pay rent. But at the same time, I don't know, my health worker, my health worker was talking about trying to work my way up to making $500 a month, which I think I can do if I can get the consistency part down. I'm not going to talk about it here because we do that on other platforms. But I do have a job on another platform that is risk-free. And when I say risk-free, I mean that I'm not going to get fired for failing to show up. I just won't. I'll just make less money. So that's the key. And that's why I started streaming in the first place. That's why I started doing YouTube. That's why I started doing everything that I do. That's why I started OnlyFans. And the camming. That's why I started the camming and then the OnlyFans. It's like a top funnel, and then you have you get all the. That's why it's called OnlyFans, because you get the people who really want. And it's if you apply that same concept to everything else, it's not just about sexuality. And in fact, some people think that sexuality is taboo. I personally don't. I personally think it's perfectly fine. Now, that doesn't mean you can be inappropriate, because obviously, you don't want to be acting inappropriately around minors and stuff like that. But I don't do that. In fact, I've taught kids how to play chess. I know how to act around kids. I know how to be appropriate. Okay? And, obviously on stream, it's a little bit of a gray area, because, the minimum age for here is 13. But I think, I'm not, explicitly doing anything sexual. And honestly, looking at the just chatting section and ASMR section, I think I'm gonna be okay. It's I'm not here to make sexualized content. I do that elsewhere, okay? And that's where it belongs, in my opinion. But other people don't really feel like that, and that's perfectly fine. Some people want to make, within TOS, within the realm of TOS, they want to do more sexualized content. I think that's perfectly fine. Some people disagree with me, and that's fine too. I just think that, why police everybody, on what kind of content they can and can't do? As long as you're not getting, actually doing, sexual things. You can do more sexualized things. Look at, there's rated PG movies, even rated G movies that have like, sexualized characters. Because sex is a part of life. And people who are, obviously if you're going overtly sexual, that's different. But like if showing people's bodies, like showing people, like, people have like, people wear certain types of clothes, I don't think, as long as you're not like, wearing like very sexual clothes, like, there's a point where you draw the line, okay? Like, like assless chaps, okay? If some guy shows up on a stream with assless chaps and like a freaking whip, and like a leather like zip like mute thing, I don't know, maybe, I mean, obviously with if you take away the assless chaps and like regular clothes, then that's just a costume, okay? But if that guy starts like, putting something in his mouth and doing that, um, doing something sexual, then that's the line, okay? Like, wearing something is not sexual. Acting sexual is sexual, and so obviously, I don't know. There is a point. Obviously, they have nudity rules, which I don't know. I feel like it's pretty easy to adhere to, and I feel like if you want to make sexualized content, I personally think that they would be way better off if they just used an adult platform. Like, honestly, like, you would be way better off. You would be making more money. You would getting more people into your OnlyFans. Like, use the sexual platforms for that. But they don't want to, because maybe that's the way they want to grow their Twitch stream, and maybe they want to eventually. But I feel like, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into that, because if you have a certain type of audience that expects a certain type of thing, and then you start changing it up on them, you're going to lose a lot of that audience. And maybe that's fine for them. But I honestly think that, like, if you really want to, like, I feel like you want to keep it separated, and that's the way at least that's the way I'm approaching it. I keep the other stuff where it belongs, and I keep this stuff, here where it belongs. Like on my stream and on my Twitter, I have a separate Twitter for the other stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's important to keep things separated. I really do, and I don't think that I don't think everybody should be forced to see it the way I do. I generally think as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not like egregiously like trying to go against the TOS, I think it should be fine. I really think Twitch is a little bit too easy with the bans, because a lot of stuff that will fly on YouTube for some reason won't fly on Twitch. And obviously there's a lot of different stuff that goes into that with different platforms and stuff. But in the end, I really don't think it's a big deal. I think as long as you're like a genuine person and you don't go out of your way to try to push boundaries, I think you'll be fine. And not to shame anybody who does, because obviously some people like to test the waters and they like to see how far they can go, But I'm not really that kind of person. I kind of just like to keep things relaxed, and I like to keep things separated. But yeah, enough about that. I mean, I feel even a little bit weird talking about it. But, the thing is, you'll see people with like tens of thousands of viewers talking about OnlyFans. So, what if this random small streamer talking about it, Who cares? Like, who mega lol, okay? Like... Okay, I wonder if I have it set up so that you can use 2 tracks. Let me just check this really quick to see if it's actually still playing the music on Twitch. Uh, All right, so all right, so testing this with while I'm talking and stuff. Like, how does the audio sound? Okay, so that's not too. That's not okay. That's a way better balance. I think I was having the music way too loud in the like with other stuff. So it's just it's one of those things where it's like it looks like it's quieter than it actually is, but it's actually I think this is a pretty good balance for the music and talking. I think if it gets too loud, it starts to get to the point of I don't know, like it gets like a little bit, it lowers the quality. I don't know if I have to like change settings for the VOD. I'll do that next time. I mean, I'll check it later to see if this, because I have music playing now. But at this point in the VOD, I'll have to look at it and let me put a marker, okay? And I'm gonna have to test this because what I would like to do is to obviously not have any audio playing in the Twitch VOD. But the real thing I want is that I want it to have audio in the other VODs, like on YouTube, because I don't want to lose the background audio. I'd like to be able to possibly use that, because sometimes the music actually really goes with what I'm talking about, and I don't have to. Like I can just, I don't know. It's a kind of like interesting, complex kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. Mostly it's just me procrastinating. We've been going for an hour and a half. Went for like 40 minutes earlier. Yeah, so really enjoying Genshin Impact. I think it's an amazing game. I'm going through the storyline. I'm trying not to do any co-op until I finish like at least I don't know. I want to finish like a big solid chunk of the game myself. Like get past like I basically call it like the beginning stage. Like I want to get through like a vast majority of like the storyline content. And then get to a place where I'm just going to long term do a lot of grinding. And then I really do I prefer doing main storyline stuff off stream. I generally don't like doing it on stream. I like to focus. Also, the big deal is I don't really want to stream Genshin Impact in general because my computer just can't handle it. Really, like it slows down a lot. There's a lot of input lag, and there's a lot of lag. And while I'm streaming, because streaming uses up extra encoding. It should be better now because I changed the scaling. I forgot that I had changed it to 1920 by 1080, but I don't need 1080p, okay? And then also, it just it actually reduces the quality because of the CBR. Because I have I have like a 4500 CBR because I don't want people to be constantly buffering. And also, I think like it just takes up more. It takes more resources out of your computer. So it's like I just want to be able to just stream and not have I don't have a two PC setup. Eventually I would like to have a setup with like 2 GPUs. I don't think you need 2 PC, I think you need 2 GPUs. Have one GPU do the rendering of the game and have one GPU do the rendering of do the streaming part. You need a more powerful, you need a less powerful GPU for the streaming part. But I do think it's important to eventually have that setup where I have isolated GPU just for the game. I want to get back to Osu. I haven't actually played Osu in a while. Another thing that's hard to play on stream, because first of all, I can't play the music because it'll just get me banned from DMCA. Not necessarily banned, but it'll get muted. But I don't want to play that game. I mean, I don't want to play. I love the game. I don't want to play the game of risking a ban. And also, you know, it's like it's like I don't want to get banned. Like that's it. Like I don't want to be playing music that'll get me DMCA. Even it's like, oh well, it's just gonna mute the VOD. It's like no. Like I understand, like, DMCA is not something you want to fuck with, okay? Like, it's a serious fucking deal. They do not care about you. They will destroy you, okay? They will destroy you. Yeah. You know, interesting enough, I was talking earlier about, like, you know, the way you feel about, like, you know, the way I feel about my womanhood has just been easier and more comfortable the longer I've been transitioning. It's just been easier to like not care so much about like I mean obviously unless somebody's purposely trying to misgender me by like calling me like hey dude, like on purpose trying to call me a dude, like, you know, or, you know, like going on purpose to try to, you know, use gendered terms. But a lot of people say dude or bro. Okay, and so it's like, I used to have a really hard time with people. I would tell my friends, like, please don't call me bro, please don't call me dude. And they respected that. But as time has gone on, it's been easier to just let it slide. And also, like, because it's like, I don't want to be, and I know this might sound weird, but I don't want to be the trans person. You know what I mean? Like, if I go into a friend group, I just want to be a friend. I just want to be Rebecca. Okay, I don't want to be the random trans person who's always angry at everything. You know what I mean? I'm a strong chess player? Not really. I suck so bad. I am very bad at chess despite all my training that I've gone through. I put myself through so much training. The biggest dysphoria I have right now is my face and my genitals, but unfortunately it's going to be a while before I get both of those. I'm counting down to November 29th, because November I am getting my facial surgery. And the biggest thing right now, like, I'm looking at my brow right now, and it's like, it's so frustrating. Like, I have this big freaking giant forehead. Some of it is genetics, but obviously, you know, even though it's genetics, if I was assigned female at birth, it might be a little bit ridiculous to try to get facial feminization. But you know what? Some cisgender people get facial feminization or masculinization. It's not just trans people. The difference is if you want it covered by insurance. If you want to pay for it yourself, then, you know, anybody can do it, you know, as long as you're like, you know, the doctor approves it. Like if you're like, you know, 800 pounds, you're at a high risk. They're not going to perform surgery on you unless it's like necessary to save your life. Your face is beautiful. I think so, but it has gendered features that I really would rather change, which I'm going to do. It's literally going to be done. And then they're going to shave this down. You know, everything's just going to be a little bit smoother, a little bit rounded. Like, it's basically just getting like some sandpaper and like kind of rounding it out. It's like, you know, you finish like a chair or like a bench or something, and it looks good. But before you paint it, you might want to get some sandpaper to kind of like finish it up, you know? That's kind of what it is. Except they're going to peel my face off, and then they're going to like grind down my orbital bone. Well, the doctor is. And like kind of even out and like pull down and even out my hairline, because I'm just going to show you. Like I said, I feel a lot more comfortable socially. I don't like want to go out of my way to like showcase, but like I feel a lot more comfortable in my body the longer I've gone. And so that, you know, it'll be even better after I get my surgeries. So but I'm going to show you, like, here's my hairline, okay? Like, it's not terrible. Okay, it's just like, I got an XQC on hairline, okay? Like, it's not terrible. And in fact, like, a lot of women, I don't want to call anybody out, obviously. But, you know, a lot of women have actually, like, you know, reminded me, you know, like, women have foreheads too. Okay. Okay, and you know, women do have similar hairlines sometimes to men. and it doesn't make me a man. It doesn't make me ugly. However, it's just it's a little bit too much. It's a bit too much for me to feel completely comfortable. And some people might feel more comfortable. If another person had my exact body, they might feel perfectly fine without getting more surgeries. Because I had orchiectomy, which that was a huge deal. Because now no matter what happens, I already had that. So no matter what happens, I'm not going to produce testosterone except for the bare minimum that your body produces. Because your body does produce some testosterone, and that's both in men and women. To regulate your body. You need testosterone, at least some of it. You need some testosterone to regulate your body. Part of that is your libido. My libido is a lot lower, but I think it's going to raise a bit because I was taking full dosage of estrogen after I got orchiectomy, and then when I did my next test, my estrogen was like through the roof. I think it was like 7 times as much as it needed to be. Like it was at 1300. It needs to be like between 200 to 300, or like I think it's like 250 to like 300. Like that's extremely high. I don't know if it was just maybe something like it accumulated too much that morning, and then late. Because I mean, I made sure to wait enough hours before I had the blood work done, because if you just take it and then you get blood work done, it'll like be a huge spike. But I made sure to wait like 4 or 5 hours. So I mean, I think my estrogen was way too high. And if it goes too high, it can actually kill you. Like it poisons your body, just like high testosterone. If you go too high testosterone, the testosterone actually starts converting to estrogen. It doesn't really work that way with estrogen. People think it does, but what happens if you take too much estrogen is it just starts poisoning your body, because you're going to be at higher risk for heart attack and stroke. But what happens if you have low testosterone is like, mine was at 9, which is supposed to be around like 15 to 20, whatever the, measurement it is. And that's way too low. That's way too low. But now it should level out now that I've halved my dose of estrogen. But yeah, I don't create testosterone anymore because I got rid of those two things. Okay, so that's great. I like my hair too, although I think soon, I don't know how soon, I need to actually go get a haircut. Get it cleaned up. How do you know so much about hormones? Because it's a requirement to be trans, basically. You have to do a lot of homework. You basically have to become a hormone profession, like a hormone expert. You don't really have to, obviously, but you need to know enough to be safe. Like, you need to listen to your doctor, right? So you need to at least know the bare minimum that your doctor tells you. I went a little bit above and beyond. I'm also diabetic, and insulin is a hormone as well. And so that's another thing that I have to know about how hormones work. And hormones are basically secretions from organs in your body that send out directions to your cells. Like, sort of how your brain sends out signals, like nerve signals to your body to send out, like, if you want to move your left arm, there's a signal that goes out that tells you that you have that intent, and it tells your body to do what you intend. And it's there's probably a delay, but it's so insignificant, it's so small that nobody would ever notice it unless you had some kind of disorder that slowed it down. There's got to be disorders where you think about something, but you say, oh, I want to move my arm, and it waits a few seconds. That might be a thing. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, most people never really need to get their hormones tested. If you're not transgender, or if you don't have some kind of health condition, you probably are fine. Your body regulates itself. If you're not diabetic, you don't need to check your blood sugar every day because your body just regulates itself. You generally only start monitoring things when you start to have health issues. Because then it's you have health issues, you go to the doctor, like Dr. Mario. You go to the doctor, and the doctor investigates. And the doctor says, okay, let's run some tests. They look at the tests, and they say, oh, judging by these tests, you might have this or this or this. and then they do additional tests, or they like try a medication, and if it works, then it's fine. If it doesn't work, then they do more investigation. Like, you generally, like, the way I understand it, I'm not a doctor, but I have been working with doctors for a very long time. The way I understand it is that doctors generally want to be as non-invasive as possible, and they only start doing things as they need to. The doctors aren't going out of their way to try to go in and do investigative surgery. Like, they're not just gonna like open up your chest to look at your heart. You know, they're gonna say like, oh, you had like a heart fluttering. Like, okay, like, you know, there's so many different reasons why that might happen. You know, it's not because you need heart surgery. Like, they don't just go straight to heart surgery, right? There's a whole road of steps that you go, and most people will never need to go past maybe the first or two or three steps. Like, how long does it take? I don't know what you mean. It depends on it depends on what your goals are. Because obviously, no matter what, there's going to be side effects. Like, obviously, a side effect of taking estrogen is that you're going to grow breasts. Obviously, that's a good side effect if you need breasts. Someone's calling me. A second. Yeah, sorry, it was spam. And it was in Spanish. You know, as far as like expecting the, like, I don't know so much about testosterone, because obviously I went the other direction. You'd have to talk to somebody who's been, you know, transitioning, you know, female to male. But I've transitioned from, you know, going through male puberty, and I'm going through my second puberty. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Okay, no, it's been since September 25th, 2019. That was my very first dose of estrogen, 1 milligram of estrogen at 7 p.m. on September 25th, 2019. That was my very first dose of estrogen. My very first dose of estrogen. And that's when I started my second puberty. But it's been since then, and I guess that's like 2 years and 9 months or something like that. 2 years and 4 months. No. 2 years ago. No, 2 years and 6 months. Oh, wait. 2 years ago was 2020 May. So 2 years, 5 plus 3. 2 years and 8 months. Yeah, basically like 2 years and 8 months ago. And I have pretty good results, in my opinion. Like, it kind of slows down at, like, you know, after like a lot of things slow down, and obviously everybody's mileage may vary. I would say don't expect anything to happen really fast. If you're trans and you just started hormone therapy at the, you know, with the care of a doctor, and a therapist and all that, which you need. Honestly, some people might self-medicate. That's extremely dangerous, especially since you don't want to do this alone. Especially if you want surgeries, you can't do it alone. There's a whole bunch of steps you need to take. At least if you want it with insurance. But even if you had like an unlimited bank account, and you could just go to a doctor, first of all, it would have to be like in a different country where they don't have as much restrictions. But honestly, if you had like an unlimited bank account, and you had let's say theoretically, if you had the option to completely transition without any gatekeeping, first of all, that's extremely dangerous. But second of all, you want support. Trust me, you want support. You don't want to do this alone. You can't do it alone. But you know, honestly, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work that way anyway. You can't do this alone. But honestly, like, you might not be able to tell just by looking, because I'm covering up and all that. But I'm really happy with where my breasts are. I'm really happy. Even though they're kind of small, they're mine. and they feel good and they look good. And they're also, since I got a orchiectomy, I think they kind of like had a little boost because my estrogen isn't fighting against testosterone, but it still takes a very long time. It's gonna take they take 5 years to fully develop. And the fat redistribution as well, like everything basically. I would say like if you're a male to female transgender person who's medically transitioning, with HRT, I would expect full results around 5 years. And I'm just like, after a certain point, it just becomes like little micro changes, and then of course you actually transition your whole life. And this is true not just of trans people. Like, when you go through puberty, you go through like a bunch of changes and it's really obvious. But once you get to like a point in your life, you kind of stop noticing, but it's still changing. And then when you get older, your body, you start noticing when you get older, especially if you don't like exercise or eat healthy, then you really notice. But if you notice like people who continue to like, this is why I'm like trying to build like really healthy habits. Like I'm trying to build like exercise, and all sorts of stuff like that, and trying my best to be healthy, because I don't want to be unhealthy when I'm in my that's going to be, I've already spent like several years of my life just trying to get my life started, okay? And so like I don't want to waste the end of my life either. I feel like I've lost a couple of years and I want to get those years back. And so that means I need to be extra healthy, because otherwise I'm going to deteriorate, and I don't want to deteriorate. It's really, obviously some of it is genetic, some of it you can't really do anything about, because some people, they exercise and eat healthy and their body still changes in a way they don't want to. So some of that is like, expectations versus reality. But also you'll notice that in general, people who exercise and eat healthy into old age will end up like looking and feeling really good. Because a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to be old because I'm going to be sick. Well, it's not necessarily a choice. Sometimes like some kind of health condition will prevent you from remaining healthy. Or sometimes it's just genetics. But I do feel like, if you'll see people, especially like people who practice like yoga and martial arts, they'll be in like their 60s and 70s and they'll look basically like the same way they did when they were like 40. Like, it's just insane. And then I think it's also like if you put a lot of things in your body, like alcohol or like fast, like, unhealthy food, lots of sugar, if people act like, oh, I love that stuff. Like, you really don't. And obviously don't like shame somebody for being addicted to those things. It takes a lot of work to get out of that. But like once you get to like a normal, like if you eat healthy on a regular basis, even, it doesn't take huge, giant, mega changes. It just takes, Asmongold was talking about how, who was it? Somebody was saying that everybody says mega now. Was it Asmongold? I don't know. Everybody says mega now. Like, you don't need to like stop it. Like, the best way to make changes, I've found, at least for me, but I feel like this goes for everybody. The best way to make changes is to gradually make those changes. Like, if only eating like one healthy thing or removing one unhealthy thing from your diet for like a month, and then next month you move another unhealthy thing, and then you migrate towards eating healthier. I have to, because of diabetes, and also because I need to have well, first of all, my hemoglobin A1C is exactly where I need it to be right now. It needs to be at 7%. The last time I tested it was like a month ago. It was at 7.2, and it's only going to get better because I'm continuing to improve. But my doctor wanted me to be, my surgeon for my bottom surgery wanted me to be at 7% for my surgery. I don't think it's gonna be I think if it's like a little bit above it, and even if it was like I don't know, I don't think the doctor is gonna deny me the surgery unless it's really bad. Like if I just start like eating like piles of sugar every day. Well, thank you, Kyle. Mr. Parker. Thank you, Mr. Parker. Thank you for your compliment. Yeah, alright. I think it's about time to end the stream. We've been going for a couple hours. I did have to, like, restart, but then that took a while. I think it took, like, a whole hour. I started the stream, it, like, took, like, 40 minutes, or longer, because I got an important phone call, and I had to delay the start of the stream. But at some point... Oh, sorry if Fossabot got you. I said it really high. Yeah, I said it really high because I get a lot of hate raids and stuff. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. It does mean that some people will end up getting through it. I love how open you are about your life and what you're doing. I hope you are so happy. You deserve to be happy. Well, thank you. Don't worry. No matter what you say, I'm gonna see it. Like on Chatterino. Like... you know, but yeah, I think I really like cracked down on I really cracked down on a lot of the stuff that would be a problem in my streams. I added Fossabot. I made Fossabot into a little bit of a fascist. Like Fossabot is gonna, like, you know, give you warnings for like everything. But I made it so that it's not gonna like ban people or time out people for too long. I made everything like a 30-second timeout, if that. I don't get a lot of hate actually. As you know, I kind of stomped it all out a while ago. I got a lot of hate like around this time in 2020. That was like 2 years ago. I got a lot of hate then because I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I will. Something really bad happened on stream. I had, you know, this was like early on in my transition. I had only really started therapy like the October, like September, like, you know, when I started transitioning, like the September of 2019, and it only been like 6 or so months. And I was also like, I was streaming like 8 hours a day at the time, working on chess. And at the time, you know, like I had an issue with my dad, and I deleted the VOD. There was an issue. I don't really want to get into it, but basically, like, my dad was really pushing all my buttons, and he was really drunk, and he really bugged me, and I started shouting. And some like conservative, like alt-right person apparently found the VOD. Well, he found the VOD, and, like, you know, before I deleted it, and had somebody make a video about it, that, you know, and spread it to all their, like, alt-right, you know, conservative alt-right, you know, fan base. Basically, like, a lot of, like, incels and Nazis and shit like that. And then they started really harassing me. But, you know, eventually I just started getting triggered by them. And I just, like, kind of just, like, realized, like, these people are, like, garbage. Like, actual garbage. Like, if you really, like, I actually kind of pity them. They're really kind of sad. Like, I don't know any healthy person who goes around and harasses people on the internet. Like, I literally don't. Like, I don't know anybody. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do it in secret. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty sure most people just live their own lives. And that's what you should do, too. In fact, I hope these people really get the help they need. And in fact, I've had a few people who came there with the intent to troll me, who ended up getting to know me, and then kind of, like, realizing, like, how shitty... Because they saw how other people were behaving. And these people kind of left eventually. But at one point, I had several viewers who were like my moderators, because they came here and they found out that I'm not who they thought I was, and then they started rethinking who they were, because they saw that I wasn't, you know, I wasn't focusing on them, I was focusing on me, and I think that's what everybody should do. Thanks for the follow, Sultan. I mean, really, if there's so much work to do on yourself, you really shouldn't be, you know, focusing on other people. Like, there's really no reason for it. That's why these people are pretty sad, and it makes me feel a little bit better about, you know, the situation. These people are so fucked up in the head that, you know, it's like it's not worth getting angry at them. Just ban them and ignore them. Like, it's just not worth it. And I started to see the warning signs. It actually got to the point where it's like I'm pretty, and then, you know, I've gotten hate on my Discord, hate raids, and I've had to adjust a lot. But I mean, I learned from the experiences. Like I don't want to get into it, but like last week there was an incident, and I just never wanted it to happen again. And so I added a whole bunch of moderation to my Discord, which sadly makes it harder to join my Discord. But honestly, at this point in time, my Discord really isn't an active place. It's kind of just a placeholder. So, you know, unless you're like super diehard fan of me, you know, if you are, it's really not that hard to get in. It's really not that hard to get in if you're a decent human being. Like Alt-Dentifier, it adds an extra step. I also added the, you know, like people can't post images or anything like that. Can't upload files. Like I fixed all that because people were posting some really inappropriate stuff. And I think their intention is to obviously, like, you know, freak me out or get my Discord deleted, or, you know, maybe they'll, like, you know, get a bot to like make bots to like mass report it or whatever. People do shit like that. But I added a whole bunch of moderation tools, and Alt-Dentifier alone I already had, but I didn't have my Discord settings set correctly. And so I changed it all, and it should be working as intended now. I don't know. At the very least, it's a lot harder for somebody to really troll me or hate rate me. How did I bypass it? I bypassed it for you because you didn't bypass it. You used it. There's a guy named Madiki who I had to bypass. Basically, it said you already passed. Like, it said you already did it. So maybe you don't remember. I don't know if you don't remember or not. That's I don't know. Like, either way, Alt-Dentifier has you go to a website and verify it with a different account, like Twitter or something. Which obviously it's not going to prevent people from joining who really want to, like, hate raid, but it's an extra step, you know? And at this point, my Discord is really like it's like, my Discord is pretty dead, okay? Like, I might use it to, like, announce things, but I really, like, I'm not big enough yet for that really to matter. And, you know, that's really just how it is, you know? Like, Discord is really, like, for your community. Well, some aren't. So those people are going to try, but now once they do, they're not going to be able to do anything. Unless I get a hate raider who is I don't want to give them ideas. Okay. Just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, okay? But in the end, you know, basically just, you know, I try to just do the best I can. But mostly it stopped. And, you know, I'm a small streamer and, you know, small content creator, very small amount of followers on all social media, trying to change that, but I don't really know how to do that. And so that's kind of like why I want to be able to, you know, start working on things that'll really start pushing me out of that. You know, start, you know, when I say YouTube, that also applies to anywhere else. Like YouTube, but like when I'm, you know, like TikTok or anything. But mostly YouTube and TikTok are probably going to be the best bet. But I need to actually make content. And I don't really know how to do that. I know how to, like, improvise and kind of just, like, you know, speak whatever's on my mind. But when it comes to actually sitting down and making a script and actually making a YouTube video, I've done it before. I tried, you know, I need to give myself a little bit more credit. Because I literally did do, like, a bunch of videos that way. And I was actually making some progress. But then a huge wave of depression hit because I found out it was a 2-year wait before I'll get my vaginoplasty. And so that was a big deal. I went through a huge depression that I'm still going through. It's starting to get better because you know, it's just time passes. But also I know that I'm on the right path, and a lot of people some people even wait like 60 years to get their vaginoplasty. And I'm going to be getting it at the most like a year and a half from now. The doctor was very positive that it could happen a lot sooner than 2 years. He just gave me a ballpark. He said, oh, it's a 2-year wait list. But I live somewhat nearby, and I'm very, I'm doing the stuff that I need to do. I'm having my first hair removal session tomorrow, for laser. But I will need to be doing, I will need to eventually try to get electrolysis, but that's probably going to come out of my own pocket. But I'm going to do laser first and then go into doing electrolysis. You wish you were as successful as me? Oh my god, I feel sorry for you. You haven't, I mean, no, the thing is, it's define success, you know? It's like, as far as like taking care of my life and moving myself in the right direction, I'm still pretty young. And you know, over time, electrolysis is permanent. Yeah, laser can be pretty permanent. And also it's my only option right now. And you know, it's what my insurance covers. And they do, you know, there's a couple of things that go into it. You really do not want hair growing because they're, you know, in there, because once they do the surgery, they can't go in and remove hair later. So I want to make sure that no matter what, even if I have to pay for it out of my own pocket, I'm going to get electrolysis. Well, thank you, Upu. I hope that, you know, we can play more, I hope that we can play more Genshin Impact. I can't really do it on stream too much. I really don't have the hardware for it. But at the same time, yeah, I have dark body hair, for the most part. You see, but like, there's always going to be like invisible hairs. So it's like, I'm going to do both. Okay. You know, the doctor said, you know, get started on laser, you know, but you really want electrolysis. And I am, I'm going, and also my primary doctor is working on getting it covered by my insurance. At least one of her patients is. But I really don't want to get it too much into that, because this is starting to get into like really kind of personal stuff, which I'm fine talking about. But when it comes to like professional stuff, like my doctor and stuff, I don't really want to divulge too much. I'm not giving too much information away, but that's kind of where that's kind of the limit, you know. I don't want to go too much into that. But, you know, someone's trying to get it so that my insurance will cover it. But in the end of the day, I think the most I would have to pay is like, since I really don't have a ton of body hair, especially down there, the most I would have to pay is probably like a few $100s. I mean, some people pay like $1,000, but that's usually for the face. I've already had laser on my face, and it's pretty effective. I had like 6 sessions. It doesn't necessarily it makes me uncomfortable that I'm sharing what somebody told me in like a clinical setting. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me uncomfortable that I'm sharing someone else's thing. As far as like it goes, when it comes to just like my own stuff, I really don't care. But when it's other people, I'm like, you know, there's other people involved. You know, it's probably fine, but I'd rather err on the side of you know, being, you know, discretion. You know. You know, I have lighter facial hair than body hair, so laser wasn't as effective as it could be, but it was pretty damn effective. Like, I won't have to shave for like a whole week, and then even then, it's like fuzzy. It's like typical for like a lot of women, actually. I feel like I have like typical women's facial hair. It is kind of bothersome in like the chin area and in the mustache area, but like they're like the blonde and invisible hairs. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Oop. I need to make some food really quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's gonna be like some healthy food. It's gonna be like some millet and stuff. Oh, hey, Swan, all the way over at D Live. Welcome. Welcome. Making me some lemons. Oh, that's like a... that's like a crazy... like, you like made like a crazy... like psychedelic looking butterfly thing. Yeah, it's like a crazy... Well, you don't have to talk about anything you're uncomfortable with, okay? Oh... Yeah, people are really gonna be like very, very unfair about, you know, and I think this is slowly changing. I think it's slowly changing. But at the same time, there's gonna be a lot of people who just think that cross-dressing, or, you know, which is different than being trans. That's more just being gender non-conforming. That being gender non-conforming or being trans, like they think it's one way and they don't understand the reality at all. And it really sucks because these people go around harassing people based on their own assumptions, and it's really fucked up. And, you know, sadly, it's just how the world is. Like it's like if you're any different at all, I'm autistic, and so like the world is not really set up for people like me. Or if you're blind or disabled in any way, or if you're just different, you know, like it's really kind of ridiculous. But, you know, like there's gonna be people who just don't get it. They refuse to get it. They don't, and also there's gonna be a lot of people who just don't know any better. And so I think the important thing is to find those people and like help them understand, because you're not gonna change the people who refuse to understand. They have like one idea of how the world works, and if you don't conform to that, you will never be okay to them. Yeah, it's peace, love, and harmony. And we need more places to sleep. Like, like you should be allowed to like safely sleep and shower in public. Obviously not in private, but in public. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know, also there needs to be more toilets. Okay. Or urinals. You know, urinals and toilets. There needs to be more places to go to the bathroom, to shower, and to sleep. Because right now, the only place you can really do that is at your own house or at somewhere where you have to like pay money. Like you have to like join the like a gym or like the YMCA or whatever. Or you have to own the place. Or you have to, if it's a bathroom, sometimes the bathroom they only let paying customers use. It's so ridiculous. Like, we really need more ability to use the bathroom. Like, why are there no public restrooms some places? You know, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people who just, like, they see the world as one thing, and if you try to move it any different direction, they're like, oh, well, that's ridiculous. This is how it is. It's so ridiculous. Gonna get in some drag later and show them that I am that bitch. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know your personal situation, but some people, you know, if you think these people are actually going to physically harm you, I would be very careful. But at the same time, don't let people like that dictate your life, because that's what they want to do. I would say just make sure that keep yourself safe, and the law should be on your side. Although sadly, in some parts of the world, the law is part of that problem, and the law will actually harm you. And so it sucks, because why are anybody who's like queer or trans or gay or lesbian, like why is anybody who's different than the norm, our ability to live a happy life or to feel safe depends on the geography of where we live. And I guess that's true for everyone. Like even like a cisgender white male who's like, you know, middle class or upper middle class or wealthy is going to have different safety depending on where they are in the planet. Like if you go to North Korea, you're probably going to die. Or any place like, you know, where there's like egregious human rights violations. You know, just by virtue of that being of places like that just being generally dangerous for everyone. But if you go to like, you know, a lot of these people, they'll be fine like pretty much anywhere in the United States. But if they, you know, but if you're gay or if you're queer or if you're trans, like you go to one place, you'll be fine. But if you go to like, you know, especially place like Missouri or something like that, or Alabama, like you actually run the risk of being physically harmed. And it's just so fucked up. Yeah, you got some self-defense there, oop. Texas, I've heard some mixed things about Texas, like where there's certain areas that are a lot more progressive, like places like Austin or Houston. And then I've heard like more rural areas are going to be a lot more dangerous. Just because people are much more homogenous, and they're not really exposed to a lot of outside culture. I think like when you get people like exposed to culture, it's really hard to hate people. When you start to see like many different types of people, it's really difficult to hate them because you start seeing the reality. Like you're like, oh, that's just a person trying to go to work. Like they're just trying to poop, you know? You came to get your tongue dose? Try your back. You're back for that, Zabek? Go follow me on Twitter. Or is that somebody else? Somebody else came in earlier asking to see my tongue. I think there was like I think it was like Crazy Slick's girlfriend in the OTK sphere. Like she did this crazy, like her tongue goes like way out here. It's crazy. I think it was on like a talent show or something. I don't know. I don't watch all of Twitch. Can you try with split? What? What? I don't have a split tongue. I have like a Fisher tongue. Oh, with spit? Oh, come on, dude. Give you a little warning. Yeah, we're not like a sexual stream, okay? Like we're not trying to like do weird shit. It's not weird. It's just I don't think it's weird. I just think it's like it's kind of inappropriate for what the stream is. I don't know. I'm pretty open-minded and I'm pretty comfortable. And you know, the longer I go through my transition, the more and more comfortable I am in my own body and not caring what people think. Like that's the whole point, right? Like that's literally the whole point of the whole transition, is so that I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't want to be like living my whole life being about the fact that I'm trans. I mean, that might be okay for some people, but I don't know. It's just I just want to live my life. You know, I'm a woman. I'm not like a trans woman. I mean, I literally am a trans woman, but I don't want to define myself by the fact that I'm transgender. I just want to be myself. You know, I don't want to be different. I mean, I am different. That's not going to change. You know, I'm just a very different person from most people. But I don't want to just like be like, you know, some people are like super into the whole like dyeing their hair blue, gauging their ears, tons of tattoos or piercings. And I'm like, I've never really been into that. I just want to be like a person. And they're a person too. They're just a different kind of person. It's not really my personality. But also some people get really political and they get really angry. And I think a lot of that anger could be better. In my opinion, I think a lot of the people, especially trans people on the internet, I feel like a lot of that anger could probably be used in more constructive ways. Instead of just canceling everybody and yelling and screaming all the time. I know it's upsetting, and I know that and to be fair, I'm a lot more privileged than a lot of trans people on the internet. A lot of trans people have to remain anonymous. A lot of trans people can't show themselves because, like I said earlier, their lives might be physically in danger. And also just harassment. But I mean, being a Twitch streamer and just like a content creator in general, or even just like a trans person on the internet in general, I've built kind of a huge defense against hate, because I see it. I wouldn't expect others to see it the same way. Obviously, this took a lot of time, and in fact, I used to get really upset a lot by hate raids, and so like even I would, and I've always been pretty tough-skinned. Okay, so I'm pretty thick-skinned, and so if like a whole bunch of people who aren't as, I'm not trying to say like I'm better than them or whatever, but what I'm trying to say is that like most people are not as thick-skinned as me, and so I understand why they would get really upset about hate raids and stuff. But honestly, I kind of see the reality of the situation. It's just kind of like it's a bunch of losers, and a lot of them are even just bots. Like, yeah, it's really ugly to see, but like, you know, you can increase your moderation as much as you can. And, you know, and I have. And I've been gradually making my moderation much higher, much stricter. And it's sad because it does kind of, you know, the people who aren't toxic are gonna pay for it too. But I feel like, you know, I think they would understand. I would think. Okay, my food's ready. So this is millet or mealy. Oh yeah, mealy or millet. I don't know. I'll look it up. I think it's like mealy and pinto bean pilaf with corn, bok choy, and baked tofu. Yeah, this is the kind of food I've been eating, and this is what's helped me with my diabetes. It's very healthy, and it's not just this. Like, it's a variety of foods that they send me. They send me every week. They send me a couple of trays like this, and it's not. It doesn't have any preservatives, so you have to eat it. Like, I mean, I end up eating it all, so it's not a problem. But you know, it's like a meal a day, basically. Yeah, I'm diabetic type 1. Or type 1.5 if you want to get technical. Insulin dependent diabetic. You know, it's like really healthy. And it's a variety of food. It's from a program that's they send me food and it's just microwavable, because a lot of the problems I have with autism stuff is it's called executive dysfunction, which means even doing something like doing the dishes or going to check the mail, it's really hard. I mean, it's the task itself is not the impossible part, because I'm actually pretty good. Once I get started at something, I'm usually pretty good at it. And that's why it takes me so long to, I mean, I don't want to say like I'm a good streamer. I mean, I'm still like a beginner, basically. I mean, I've been streaming for like 2.5 years, but I'm like a, 0 to 5 viewer average. That, I mean, I'm at that stage. So, but I am pretty experienced with showing up and doing the stream. But, like, the reason why it's so hard to show up to stream is because of executive dysfunction. Because making this, like, starting the ignition It's like if you have a car that runs perfectly well, but it won't start, then it doesn't matter how well oiled it is. Doesn't matter if you have a full tank of gas. Like, it doesn't matter if you have like this new V8 engine or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter because it won't even start, right? So that's what my particular flavor of autism is mostly focused around executive dysfunction. And I do have emotional regulation issues. It's helped a lot with lowering my like with transitioning, because there was a lot of extra psychological stuff associated with that I've reduced greatly. But also kind of leveling out my hormones more. So it's like my hormones, like lowering the testosterone really helped a lot. I noticed that it took a while, but like after like a year or so of being on estrogen, I just found myself like generally like a lot calmer, and everything's a lot smoother. I also take a mood stabilizer, but nom nom nom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to help with frizzy hair, yeah. Hey Zeroni! What's up? What's up, losers? We've been going for a bit. I was just like planning a bunch of stuff. Mostly just trying to figure out. Well, just talking, really, as usual, but also, you know, coming up with some problem solutions for why I'm not like making YouTube videos or TikToks or just content in general. Because, I mean, I'm supposed to be a content creator. I'm doing everything except making content. And it's like, I don't know what to make. Yeah, it's so many things interest me though, so it's like really hard to narrow it down. I think that's like the biggest issue. Like I'm all over the place. I think that's like the problem. Is like I'm like a master of none, like a jack of all trades but master of none, you know? Which is terrible. You want to like kind of find a niche. Like I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to provide value. And we're just eating. And making weird adjustments to my facial muscles. The only thing I can't do is raise like one eyebrow. Like every time I try, it's like... I don't know. You're gonna lose. The Trainwreck is, of Trainwreck's TV. Is like really good at the eyebrow raise. Out of everybody I've seen on the internet, on like Twitch, in the Twitch sphere, in the top Twitch sphere, out of everybody I've seen in the top Twitch sphere, I would say that Trainwreck is probably the best at the eyebrow raise. But remember, you're gonna lose. Hello. Hi, Abdelra. Welcome. We're kind of gearing down a bit. I'm just kind of hanging out before I end the stream. You know, just hanging out with you guys as much as I can before I leave, because I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna miss you so much. Oh my god. I'm really gonna miss you guys. Oh. My day is ruined when you guys are gone. Man, let me give you my social security number, my address, and where, and my geographical location. Let me just give you a link to exactly where I'm gonna be walking. Mother's maiden name. You know, out of all the problems that are like the internet, I think is gonna have to solve. There's gonna have to be a way for people to truly protect their identity. Like, even if somebody knew your social security number. Like, I feel like there needs to be a way to secure it, because people like hack, even not even hacking. People can get access to information, like sometimes even for free. But people can definitely like buy leaked information. And like, you know, get people's credit card info, like passwords, all sorts of stuff, like info. And I feel like the problem that needs to be solved for the future of the internet is that you should be able to protect yourself even if somebody had literally all your information. Like, you should be safe even if somebody knew everything. Like, if somebody knew your social security card, if people knew every password, like, you know, I think there needs to be some kind of solution. I think quantum computing was like the start of approaching that. Because if you ever like looking into like quantum computing, where you could have like a, you know, because you have like an MDA like hash or whatever, or like a SHA-15, like whatever it is, like a SHA-15, or like, you know, an encrypted password, encrypted data. You know, like, but there's no way to really tell if somebody has looked at it or whatever. But with quantum computing, it's been several years, like I think like 8 years or something, since I last really looked into it. But from what I know, like the gist of it, like the concept, is that if you have a quantum computer, any piece of information changes if you look at it. So like, there's got to be something in there that can increase security, like to the level of, you know, like I think the ideal would be literally you're protected no matter what information people have. So if people knew like where you live, if people knew like, you know, all sorts of stuff, like I think in society in general, I feel like security is the main issue. Like if somebody knows where you live, you should be able to be protected. Like not just legally like after the fact, but protected before the fact. Like we should be safe. Because there's going to be cyber attacks, but there's also going to be people who are actual, like, in real life predators. And I think that's, like, the biggest issue that needs to be solved, I think, in the age of the internet. One of the biggest issues, I think. Oh, you want some? Here comes the airplane. Ah. Well, that's kind of an interesting effect right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna save half of it for later, and then I'm gonna end the stream, you guys. We had a productive day, even if I wrote a few notes, but the fact of just getting started, Like for me, I've had to be reminded by my health workers many times. Is sometimes like I have a hard time like filling out paperwork and doing stuff like that. But sometimes even just looking at the paperwork and not even doing it, just looking at it, it gets you started. And then the next time you look at it, you're more likely to do it. And I think that's like how you learn any habit or learn any skill, is you don't start by being perfect. And you're never going to be perfect. But if you start with just a little, just thinking about the activity, obviously you're eventually going to work your way up to actually doing it. And then once you do it, you work your way up to improving at it. But it takes time. And for me, I have a lot of deficits in the way that my brain works, from a lifetime of undiagnosed autism until 31. And now I'm 34. And like I've been working so hard. Like I've been working so hard to improve my life. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna end, and I'll give you guys some battle toads. All right. Peace, you guys. Wait, I gotta do the. Wait. Oh my god. Did you hear that? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Isn't that what they have in like the Wii Sports or whatever? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.